for you tonight, specifically for those of you who are at a position in your life right now where you're considering jumping. In other words, you're considering taking a significant chance on yourself. And maybe for you, what that looks like is you maybe perhaps leaving a job that you have right now and starting a new business. Or maybe perhaps it's about you making a career shift. Or maybe it's about you following your goals and your dreams and doing something that you've really been wanting to do. And if you are at that place right now where you're just trying to figure it out, or you've just been contemplating, you've been thinking about it, you're just trying to build up the courage to jump, as Steve Harvey would say, let me tell you, you're in the right place. But here, I got a message for you tonight, and I'm calling tonight's message Before You Jump. You see, before you jump out there after your goals and your dreams, and before you jump and start that business, before you jump and go back to school and get that degree, before you jump and do that thing that right now feels a little risky, there's some things that you need to know, and I'm going to share those things with you tonight. And so I thank you so much for joining me on the Thursday night Show Up for Your Life Motivational live stream. Do me a quick favor as you're jumping on right now. You know, I always want to make sure I give you a quick shout out. Do me a quick favor. Go ahead and put your city and your state, in the comment section so I could go ahead and give you a little quick shout out before we get started on the Thursday night Show Up for Your Life Motivational live stream. This message tonight is specifically for that person who is contemplating taking a jump. Many of you at one point or another, you probably have heard Steve Harvey talking about jumping, taking a leap, going after your goals and your dreams, and literally jumping, and then your parachute is going to go ahead and take off. Well, listen, if you're at that place right now and you've been thinking about jumping, you're thinking about taking a chance on yourself, you're thinking about starting a business, you're thinking about making a career change, listen, I got a message for you, and tonight's message is called Before You Jump. And so let me give a shout out to a couple people. Hey, quick shout out to Christine. Hey, Christine, how you doing? Hey, quick shout out to Brittany. Hey, Brittany, I see you, girl, out in South Carolina. Looking forward to Brittany joining me at the Master Storyteller Academy in February. And of course, Christine is in Indianapolis. Yes, yes, yes. And so I thank you so much, Christine. Hey, what's going on? Johnny Jones, man, long time no see, my friend. I hope you're doing fantastic. And then, of course, we got Michael Brother Glassy out of Riverside, California. Hey, so thank you so much. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So we just tied in those who are listening in right now on the conference call line. And before I go ahead and dive right on in with the message, and just so you know tonight's message is called Before You Jump. And I'm talking specifically to those of you who are at that place right now where you're contemplating taking a big leap. Like you're really thinking about taking a big chance. It's scary. You're thinking about starting a business. You're thinking about making that career change. You're thinking about leaving your job right now that's been very comfortable and doing something that maybe perhaps you have never, ever done before. And you can feel the tug on your heart. You know it's something that you want to do. You know you've been thinking about starting this business. You know you've been thinking about doing this thing that you feel as if it's a special calling on your life. You know that you need to go back and get that degree or whatever it is that you've been thinking about doing, but it just comes with a lot of nervousness. And in many ways, you're just not quite sure what all the steps are. And as Steve Harvey would said, you think about and you're considering jumping. Listen, I want to share with you some things specifically about some things that I believe that you need to know before you jump. So let me just continue, give a shout out. We got Darren out in Baltimore. We got Sonia out in Houston, Texas. All right, we got Joel out in Trinidad and Tobago. That's what I'm talking about. I love it when my international folks jump on. And of course, I want to thank all of you for joining me on the Thursday night Show Up for Your Life Motivational Movement. And so once again, this message is for you. If you are a person right now that you are either in the middle of your jump, you are contemplating your jump, or you just jumped and you're like, what in the world have I gotten myself into, Andy? I didn't know it was going to be this hard. I didn't know I was going to have to try to figure this thing out. Or if you're the person and you are standing at the edge of the cliff and you are thinking about it, you got the itch, you like, man, I really want to quit my job. I really want to go ahead and start this new endeavor. I want to start this new business, or I want to make a complete career change. Or you're like, man, I keep being told that I got this gift, I got this skill, I got this talent, and I would really like to pursue this gift, this skill, this talent full time, but I have no idea what this thing is supposed to look like. I don't even know what I should do. And so you're contemplating jumping. You have no idea how you're going to make this happen. Listen, this message is for you. The message tonight is called Before You Jump. And of course, before I jump in, if there's anybody else, as you're jumping in right now, put in your city and your state. Let me give you another quick shout out before I dive into this message. Before you jump, specifically for that person who is at the place right now in their life and they're saying, Andy, listen, I got the itch and I've been thinking about this thing for a while. This business has been sitting on my heart, or this new idea has been sitting on my heart. I've been thinking about taking the leap, but I am so scared. I have no idea as to how this thing is going to work out. And so if that's you, this message is specifically for you. So before I dive in right now on this message, do me a quick favor. For those of you who are tuning in right now, go ahead and hit the share button, because I know, here's what I know, that you have somebody that you're connected to, somebody that's connected with you right now via social media that needs to hear this message, somebody who is contemplating taking a jump. They're contemplating taking a step of faith. They are contemplating starting the business. They're contemplating leaving their careers. They're contemplating making the career shift. They're contemplating answering a specific calling. They're contemplating leveraging their gifts, their skills, and their talents to do something that they haven't done before. And let me just tell you that they need to hear this message because it's going to help them out. So I just said we had Trinidad and Tobago on the line. We also got my buddy Andrew Simpson, who is joining us right now from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Andrew, thank you so much, man. So glad and so wonderful, the amazing work that you're doing over there in Puerto Rico with the rescue efforts over there. And so right now we're about to jump in tonight's message. Here's what I want to talk to you about. Tonight's message is entitled Before You Jump. And so here's what I know, here's what I believe, that most of us at one point or another, we're going to have sort of this knock on our heart, or we're going to have this internal desire. Something inside of you is going to say, you know what, there's got to be more than this. Something inside of you is going to have this big, lofty dream, this desire, something that you want to do. But when you look at it, it is going to intimidate you. When you look at it, it is going to scare you. When you look at it, you're not going to have all the steps figured out. And so that's the person who right now you're working a corporate job, and maybe you're with a great company, or you've been doing this thing now for quite some time, but you know that something inside of you is saying, you know what, there's got to be more than this. And you have this desire to start a business or to go in a different direction. Or you've been down one career path, and now all of a sudden you feel as if you should go in another career path. And what's happening is you've been thinking about doing it, but the career path you've been on, it's safe. It's what you're used to. It's what's been paying your bills. And so you keep thinking about contemplating making this shift, but it's really, really scary. And here's the other thing. Some of you right now, there's something specifically that you want to do that you know is in alignment with you making a shift, with you taking this jump. Maybe it's going to require that you go back to school. Maybe it's going to require that for one time that you actually take a chance on yourself and you start implementing your gifts and your skills and your talents, whatever it might be. And every single time you keep talking yourself into it, and then you keep talking yourself right back out of it. And let me just tell you something. I have completely been there before. And some of you, you may have heard my story before, but if you haven't, I just want to share with you, because here's what I want you to understand. Yes, today I get to literally be able to use my voice, to be able to deliver keynote messages, to train people. I have amazing clients like Bacardi, Office Depot, Accenture, NASA, these amazing clients. But that hasn't always been the case. And really, speaking is not really what I started off my career doing. And for those of you who are hearing my story for the first time, I grew up in a Caribbean household where my parents really said, Andy, listen, here's what you got to do. Go to school, get a good education, and get a good job. And let me tell you, I followed the script. You hear me? I went to school at Florida State University. I studied like crazy. I graduated summa cum laude. I got my master's degree in corporate accounting. I studied for the CPA exam. I ended up landing a job, one of the largest professional service firms in the world, this company by the name of PricewaterhouseCoopers. And so I'm telling you, you're looking at the poster boy for following the script, for doing what other people told me that I was supposed to do. And let me help you to understand this. Even though I was with this phenomenal company, even though I had followed the script, I got to this place that maybe you could relate to, where something was saying, Andy, there's got to be more than this. And so even though I'm with this great company, I'm getting this paycheck, it's hitting my bank account every 2 weeks. I get the prestige designation of saying that I work for this company, that I'm a CPA, and this is not a Mickey Mouse company, one of the largest professional service firms in the world. But yet inside, every single day, I'm feeling like an imposter. And the reason why I'm feeling like an imposter is because even though on the outside, I'm showing a persona or I'm showing somebody who's successful on the outside, on the inside, I'm feeling as if, you know what, this is not congruent. This is not necessarily what it is that I want to do. And let me tell you something, after being there for about 3.5 years, I'm telling you, I got to that place where I was contemplating taking a jump. And so, in other words, and that terminology comes from Steve Harvey. In other words, I was contemplating taking a chance on myself. I was contemplating leaving what was comfortable, leaving what I knew, leaving this paycheck that was hitting my bank account every 2 weeks, leaving my degree in accounting, leaving my master's degree in accounting, and going in an entirely different direction. And let me tell you something, that is scary. Let me tell you something, it is scary when you are thinking about leaving something that you are used to, leaving something that you have dedicated your time and your resources to, leaving something that in many ways represents security in your life to go and pursue something that is completely abstract, pursue something that has no guarantees, pursue something that you're still even trying to figure out. And so maybe perhaps that's where you're at right now. Maybe right now you're at a place in your life where you know that there is a higher calling on what it is that you are called to do. And so in other words, you're feeling like, you know what, I really got to start this business, or I really need to make this career change, or I keep being told that I got this gift, I got this skill, I got this talent. And now I really am contemplating, I'm thinking about taking a chance on myself. I'm thinking about making it happen, but it's so scary, Andy. How did you do it? What is it that you had to do to prepare yourself to take the jump? How were you even able to do it? And so I'm telling you right now that I thought about this. I literally sat on the sidelines for about 1.5 years, and literally here's what I would do. I would talk myself into it, and then I would talk myself right back out of it. And so I'd be like, Andy, you should totally do it. You should leave your job. You should go ahead and try to figure this thing out. You should become an entrepreneur. You should figure out what your purpose, what your passion is. And then I would talk myself out of it. Man, but come on, man. You spent all this time getting your undergraduate degree in accounting. You got your master's degree in corporate accounting. You got your CPA license. You're working with this great company. You know, what is your family going to think? What are your friends going to think? And literally this conversation would go back and forth and back and forth and back, where I would talk myself into it and then talk myself out of it. Listen, nobody had to talk me out of it. I was talking myself out of it. And maybe you could relate to that. There's something that you were wanting to do, something that you were meaning to do, and you kept talking yourself into it, and you kept talking yourself right back out of it. In other words, nobody had to talk you out of starting a business. Nobody had to talk you out of making a career change. Nobody had to talk you out of writing the book, because you literally talked yourself out of it. And literally that's where I was at. And so here are one of the major things that I need you to understand when it is time for you to take a jump. And I believe that I could save you a tremendous amount of time if you know this, because it's going to keep you from spinning the wheels. Because let me tell you right now, part of the reason that delayed me actually taking a chance on myself and me jumping was because I wanted to be very calculated and I wanted to have it all figured out. And so in other words, I wanted to know exactly how I was going to make the transition from working a corporate job as a CPA and then becoming an entrepreneur, and then ultimately figuring out what my purpose and my passion was, and then becoming a full-time speaker and a coach. I wanted to know exactly what all the steps were. And so if there were going to be 10 steps, I wanted to know what step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, literally, I wanted to know what every single step in the process was going to be. And so maybe perhaps you've been thinking about taking a chance on yourself, and you've been thinking about making something happen, and you too are trying to be calculated. You're trying to make sure you're responsible. You're trying to make sure that you know what all the steps are. And so here's the thing that I want to tell you, that it's going to save you a whole lot of time, but it may not be what you thought that you were going to hear. And so here's what I want you to understand. I need you to get this. Here's what I need you to get. You won't have it all figured out. Listen carefully. Newsflash. You will not have it all figured out. Listen, I wish I could tell you that, hey, when you decide that you're going to go ahead and start this business, you're just going to go ahead and put together this fantastic business plan. And then all of a sudden, you're going to know every single step to getting this business off the ground. You're going to know exactly who's going to partner up with you. You know exactly where all your capital is going to come from. You know exactly how you're going to make things happen. I wish I could tell you right now, if you're thinking about making a career change, that it is going to happen exactly like this. You're going to just walk into the room. You're going to give your letter of resignation. And then this other job opportunity is just going to be waiting for you. You're just going to make this perfectly smooth transition. Listen, I wish I could tell you that it works out like that in life, but that's not how it works. And most people delay their destiny. Most people, unfortunately, do not realize their goals and their dreams. They don't do that thing that you've been called to do, that they've been wanting to do for this very reason, because of the fact that they want to have it all figured out. And I need you to understand, you will not have it all figured out. And so what it means is that even in the midst of you not knowing what all the steps are, you're still going to have to take the leap. You hear me? So in other words, that means you mean to tell me, Andy, wait a second, you want me to leave my job and go after this thing that I want to do and not have everything mapped out? Listen, what I'm saying to you is, if you want to have everything mapped out, you will never leave the job. If you want to have everything mapped out, you will never realize your destiny. If you want to have everything mapped out, you will never fulfill your purpose. Listen, life doesn't work out that way. And especially when you're talking about taking a leap, when you're talking about doing something significant, you will not have it figured out. And so what you got to do is you got to take the leap. Somebody do me a favor right now, put hashtag take the leap in the comment section, put hashtag take the leap. Listen, you're not going to have it all figured out. But something amazing happens once you decide to take the leap. Understand this, that all of a sudden now the right people will begin to show up, that the next step will reveal itself. You see, Martin Luther King said that faith is taking the first step, even when you can't see the entire staircase. And so what I need you to understand is that the first thing you got to be willing to do is just take the leap. You got to be willing to take the very first step, understanding that you are not going to have it all figured out. And so if you get that, do me a favor right now in the comment section, put hashtag take the leap, hashtag take the leap. I see you, Linda, hashtag take the leap. Brittany, I see you, hashtag take the leap. And so it's important that you learn that you're not going to have it figured all out. That's right, take the leap, Joel. You're not going to have it figured all out. And so you've got to be willing to take the leap. That's right, Christine, take the leap. You got to take the leap. You're not going to have it all figured out. And so I'm telling you right now, there are so many people who are sitting on their dream. They're sitting on their goal. They're sitting on their destiny. They're delaying the impact that they could have. They're delaying starting a business. They're delaying the career shift. They're delaying using this gift, this skill, this talent, this amazing thing that they have, because they want to have it all figured out. And I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you once and I'll tell you again, you're not going to have it all figured out. And I'm telling you, I've seen people who literally lean in and they're sitting in on the edge of their seat. And they say, Andy, how did you make the transition from being an accountant, from being a CPA, and now today you're a full-time speaker, a trainer, a storytelling coach? How did you do it? And what they would love for me to say is, well, actually, here's what I did. Step 1, I did this. And step 2, I did this. And step 3, I did this. And this was exactly how it all worked out. And this is exactly how my journey went. Guess what? It doesn't work like that. And so what they're hoping is that I'm going to be able to share something with them that is going to give them enough information so that they could take the leap. And oftentimes what I'm sharing with them is this very thing that I'm sharing with you. And that is that you will not have it all figured out. So that's the first thing that I need you to understand. And I need you to get comfortable with the fact that you're going to have to act in spite of the fact that you don't have it figured out. And so in other words, in spite of the fact that you don't know exactly what all the steps are, in spite of the fact that you don't know exactly who's going to partner up with you and help you, in spite of the fact that you don't know where all the resources are going to come from, in spite of the fact that you've never done this before, right? In spite of all that, you still need to take the leap. And here's the other thing I need you to get, right? In the midst of all that, Here's the other thing that a lot of times sort of keeps us from sort of taking the leap. We look at this thing that we want to start the business, to make this shift in our career. And what happens is the fear also pops up. So not only do we not have it all figured out, but then we also have this fear. And this fear says, whoa, 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 wait a second here. Don't jump. Don't leave this job. Even though this is not what you really want to do, this is how you pay your bills. Whoa, 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 don't do this. How are you going to take care of yourself? How are you going to take care of your family? No, 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 no. Wait a second. Don't do this. Don't do this. What if you fail? What if things don't work out? And so the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of criticism, even the fear of success, all of those fears will begin to rear their heads. And so here's another fatal error that we make. We hope and we wish that the fear is going to go away. And so here's what I want you to understand. Oftentimes, when you're going to do something significant in your life, like take a leap and take a chance on your goals and your dreams and do something that you've been wanting to do, understand that you got to get comfortable with having fear come with you. And so I want you to paint this visual. If you had to get into this vehicle to get to your destination, this destination that you have of starting the business, this destination that you have of making a career change, this destination that you have of fulfilling your gifts, your skills, and your talents, what I want you to understand is this is what it's going to look like oftentimes. You're going to get into the vehicle, and as you get into the vehicle, I want you to understand that on the passenger side, the door is going to pop open. And when the door pops open, guess who's going to get into the vehicle with you? The person that's going to get into vehicle with you is the person by the name of fear, F-E-A-R. Fear is going to get in the vehicle with you, and fear is going to sit right next to you. And so what I want you to understand is this. If you intend on getting out of the vehicle and you're going to try to drag fear out of the vehicle before you take off, understand this, you will never, ever take off. Do you hear me? Listen carefully. If you think that before you're going to go ahead and put your vehicle in drive and start going towards your goals, start going towards your dreams, that the only way that you're going to be able to do it is if you get fear to exit the vehicle. Let me help you understand something. You will never, ever take off. What I need you to understand is this. While fear is in the vehicle with you, I want you to do this. You're going to go ahead and put your seatbelt on. You're going to go ahead and take the car, take it out of park, put it into drive, and then you're going to look over at fear and you say, hey, listen, this vehicle is going forward. And I understand that you have no intentions on getting out of this vehicle, so you might as well put your seatbelt on and join me for the ride. And so in other words, you got to get comfortable with literally having fear sit right next to you as you move forward on your goals and your dreams. Stop wasting time and trying to eliminate fear before you move forward. It doesn't work that way. Oftentimes during your journey, as you're driving towards your goals and your dreams, you will be looking over and fear will be sitting right next to you in the passenger seat. Fear is going to be right next to you. But let me help you to understand something, that at one point with fear sitting right next to you, it's going to really, really bother you. It's going to literally be able to have you at the point where you're just really creepy crawling as you're driving, and it's going to be a major distraction. But guess what happens over time? You'll get used to fear sitting right next to you, and you're going to get used to just keep pushing forward. And so you got to be willing to do what the great Joyce Meyer said. You got to be willing to do it afraid. In other words, you got to be willing to get in the vehicle, drive towards your goals and your dreams, understanding that fear is going to be in the vehicle with you. And I want to save you a tremendous amount of time. Stop wasting your energy, exerting your time, having your vehicle in park, and trying to pull fear out of the vehicle. Understand that in order for you to get to your next level, in order for you to go ahead and do this thing that you've been wanting to do and jump, oftentimes you're going to do it with fear sitting right next to you. If you can get that, understand it's going to help you to get to wherever it is that you're hoping to get, and so much more faster, because you're going to release yourself of the burden of feeling as if the fear has to go away and the fear has to be eliminated in order for you to move. I need you to get this, that in order for you to jump, you have to become accustomed to moving forward with fear. And so I need you to understand that fear is coming for the ride. Get that. Fit that. I need you to get that. Hey, so here's what I need you to do. Put this hashtag fear is my friend. Hashtag fear is my friend. And I need you to get that because it's the only way that I could get you to fully embrace the fact that your next level in this thing that you're looking to do, that you're hoping that fear is going to go away and that the fear is going to subside. It's not going to happen, Jack. I'm going to tell you this right now. Fear is riding with you. You might as well get used to it. You might as well get used to fear's face. You might as well get used to fear's voice because fear is coming for the ride. But I tell you right now, if you can learn to shift to the right mindset, it won't stop you. It would not keep you from getting to that next level. It would not keep you from taking the jump. It would not keep you from doing that thing that you were called to do. So listen, I need you to put it down right now. Fear is my friend. Fear is my friend. Fear is my friend. And all it means is that when you're going to jump, and you're going to move forward, it just means that fear is coming with you. I need you to get that. Do me a favor, because there's somebody who you're connected to that needs to hear this message. So go ahead and put the share button, click the share button. If you haven't already done so, hit the share button because somebody needs to hear this message. And so remember what I told you. Number one, when you're thinking about jumping, this whole message is about before you jump, because I know some of you right now that this is the time for you to jump. You've been thinking about taking a chance on yourself for too long. You've been thinking about starting a business for too long. You've been thinking about this career change for too long. You've been thinking about going back to school for too long. You have been thinking about using your gifts, your skills, and your talents and going full in on your gifts, skills, and talents and stop treating them like a hobby. You've been thinking about this for too long. And you've been contemplating jumping, in the words of Steve Harvey. And so I want to share with you the things that you need to know before you jump. Remember, the first thing I want to tell you was that you won't have it all figured out. And so you can just put that away, get rid of that, stop trying to have it all figured out. It doesn't happen. It is one of the most sure-proof ways to delay your destiny and to keep you from moving forward is for you to literally start breaking your brain trying to have all the steps figured out. It does not work like that. I'm telling you right now, there are some of you, you're in the process, and this is your time to make a significant shift. And for you to just literally jump, I need you to get this. You're not going to have it all figured out. And so all you've got to do is you just need to identify what the one step is that you need to take. That's why Martin Luther King said that, listen carefully, you don't have to see the entire staircase. You just got to be willing to literally take the first step. And the reason why that's so important is because after you take the first step, the next step will reveal itself. And then after you take the next step, the third step will reveal itself. And before you know it, you will be at the top of the staircase. Before you know it, you have made the transition. And now all of a sudden you're doing that thing that you were called to do. And so the question becomes then, why is it then that we don't take the first step? What I shared with you is the reason why we don't take the first step is because we get caught up in the fear. We get caught up in the fear. We're like, oh, well, I just want to stop feeling fearful and then I'll write the book. I want to stop feeling fearful and then I'll start the business. I want to stop feeling fearful, then I'll make the career change. Remember what I told you, fear is coming for the ride. Fear is going to be your co-pilot. Now, here's what I need you to get. You see, part of jumping, the most difficult part is basically getting off the ground. That is the most difficult part. The most difficult part is just basically liftoff. You see, once you're getting into an airplane and that airplane is getting ready to take off, the part of the airplane where it's going to exert the most amount of energy, the part that's going to require the greatest amount of focus, the part that is going to require the greatest amount of momentum is that beginning part of just simply getting off the ground. And so I need you to get this. I need you to get this. That the part that is going to be the scariest for you to starting the business, to writing the book, to making the career shift is just the simple act of starting. You hear me? Of getting the wheels off the ground. Listen, you got to be willing to get the wheels off of the ground. In other words, you got to be willing to just simply jump. Now, here's the thing. Remember I told you that you're not going to have it all figured out? And the reason why I shared that with you is because it's important for you to understand that so that you can understand how is it then that you still manage to make it to your destination? How is it that someone could leave their job, not have it all figured out, and then you go ahead and you follow them 5 years from now, 7 years from now, and now they're having success in their business? How is it that somebody can have one career track, not have it figured out, go in another career track, and you check in on them in another 5, 7 years, and all of a sudden now they're doing wonderful? How is it? How is it possible that somebody has these gifts, these skills, and these talents? They've never tried to use these gifts and these talents full time. They take a chance on their gifts, a chance on their talents, and then you check on them 5, 7 years from now, and things are going very well. Here's what I need you to get. The hardest part is liftoff. The hardest part is getting the wheels off the ground. But once you get the wheel off the ground, here's the part that I need you to understand. Listen, very simple. You're going to make adjustments while you're in the air. You hear me? Listen carefully. You will make adjustments while you're in the air. And so that's the reason why you don't have to have it all figured out. You see, you just got to be willing to start. Now, once you start, then you begin to make your adjustments. Then you begin to sort of figure things out. Then you start trying to learn a little more about this new endeavor that you've gone on. Then you start learning about, the principles of business, and you start learning about partnerships. You start learning about, a P&L statement. Then you start learning about how to create revenue streams. Then you start learning about how to close leads. Then you start learning about how to generate leads and so forth. You see, once you get the wheels off the ground, then you start making those adjustments in the air. You see, it's the same thing like when you have these gifts, these skills, and these talents, and you've never taken a chance on them. Once you do, guess what? Those gifts, those skills, those talents, they begin to develop. And then you begin to see things. And then so now you start saying, well, I'm going to lean a little bit over to this way. And so this is working out. And all of a sudden, wait, this isn't working anymore. So you start leaning on over to the other end. And you say, wait a second, this is working. And you say, well, wait a second, this isn't working anymore. And you start leaning to the other side. And what happens is when you do that enough, you start making the right adjustments, and then all of a sudden you start getting on course. And this is the part where you start getting in alignment with what your purpose is. This is the part where now all of a sudden you are starting to be on track. This is the part now where you begin to build some momentum. So I need you to get this, that many of your adjustments are going to happen while you are in the air, while you have committed to actually jumping, while you have gotten your wheels off the ground. That is when the adjustments take place. And that is when the adjustments are most effective. You see, oftentimes when you get into an airplane, they're going to get you on that runway and they've got to go in a certain direction based off of what they've been told to get off of that actual tarmac. But understand this, that once they get those wheels off the ground, then they make the proper adjustments so that they can get on course. And so here's what I need you to get. So many of us, we get stuck with our wheels still on the ground. And so we never take flight. And the reason why we never take flight is because we're trying to make all the adjustments while our wheels are still on the ground. Let me tell you, doing that makes things very, very difficult. And doing that oftentimes is going to keep you grounded on the ground. In other words, your dream, your goal, your aspirations will never, ever take flight. And so here's what I need you to get. You need to be willing to first just simply jump, understanding that you're not going to have it all figured out, understanding that fear is going to be your co-pilot. Fear is coming along for the ride. But if you could just simply get your wheels off the ground, then all of a sudden you make adjustments in the air. And so I'm telling you, when I made the decision to leave corporate America back in December of 2004, I'm telling you, I walked into that office of the lady who was head of HR, wonderful lady. Her name was Tammy Klein. I told her I was leaving. And I'm telling you, I said something that sounded fantastic, but at the time, I did not know what all the steps were. I need you to get that. I did not have it all figured out. The other thing is, I need you to understand is that I was fearful. I was afraid. I didn't know what my parents were going to think. I didn't know what other people were going to think. I was afraid of failing. I was afraid of success in some kind of ways, I would say also. So the fear, I had to literally take fear with me. Now, here's the thing. When I made the decision to leave, that's when my wheels came off the ground. You see, that's when I finally began to take flight. And now I didn't have things figured out, but that's when I started to make adjustments. That's when I started to change the people that I was surrounding myself with. I started to find other people who are entrepreneurs. I found one of my first amazing mentors, this guy who was a retired NFL player who was investing in real estate. And so I started mentoring under him and learning business principles and learning how to invest and things like that from him. Then I started to surround myself with other people who had also taken the leap, other people who had also jumped, other people who had left careers, other people who took a chance on their goal, on their gifts and their talents. Then I started making more adjustments. I started going to personal development seminars and workshops. I started finding coaching. I started finding people who could help me out. And so what I need you to understand is that all those things happened after I got my wheels off the ground. That's when I began to make all of my adjustments. And so stop trying to make your adjustments on the ground and understand you will make your adjustments when you get off the ground. Somebody put this for me real quick. Put hashtag get off the ground. Hashtag get off the ground. Because I'm telling you right now, some of us, we keep our dreams, we keep our goals grounded because of the fact that we're hoping to have it all figured out. We're hoping that fear is going to go away. And we want to be able to make all the calculations and all the adjustments on the ground. It does not work like that. First, you got to get off the ground. Do me a favor right now. Put hashtag get off the ground. Get off the ground. Get off the ground. So you got to figure out what get off the ground means to you. Get off the ground for you may mean that it's your time to leave the job. Get off the ground for you may in fact just mean that it's your time to start getting that pen and start committing that what it is that you have inside of you. Start writing it down and putting it on paper. Getting it off the ground for you might just mean for you to go ahead and fill out the application and go ahead and go down that new career path. Getting off the ground for you may mean that you are going to enroll into this new program, this program that represents your next level. Whatever get off the ground means to you, you got to get off the ground, because it is after you get off the ground, then that is when you're going to make the adjustments. Now, let me tell you this. This is what takes a lot of people off the game, takes them out of the game. Because here's what happens. Some people are courageous enough to not have it all figured out, and they're willing to jump. They're willing to go after their goals and their dreams. And they understand that you got to take fear as your co-pilot. And they say, Andy, I was afraid and I did it anyway. And now I got my wheels off the ground and now I'm making my adjustments in the air. But how do I stay in the game? And I need you to understand this. I'm having this conversation with you with literally, we are talking right now, 13 years removed of when I jumped, of when I got my wheels off the ground. And so you might say, well, Andy, how do you keep your wheels off the ground? How do you stay airborne? How do you stay aflight? How do you keep yourself from getting disappointed and deciding to land the plane and running back to your job or running back to your comfort zone and doing that thing that you know that is not really the thing that you want to do? Here's what I need you to get. Here's what I need you to get. If you could get this, it's going to keep you in the game. You got to expect there to be some turbulence. Listen, you've got to expect there to be turbulence. Listen, I'm excited that you're ready to jump. I'm excited that you're going to get your wheels off the ground. I'm excited about the fact that you understand that fear is going to be your co-pilot. I'm excited about the fact that you are ready to make your adjustments in the air. But here's what I need you to get. If you want to stay in the game, if you don't want to throw in the towel, understand this, that you've got to expect there to be turbulence. In other words, you got to expect to be tested. There's some things that are going to happen that you didn't anticipate, okay? I'm talking about you're going to have some resources get depleted. You're going to have people that you thought that you can count on that you can't count on anymore. You're going to find out that it's way more difficult to stay airborne than what you thought. You're going to find that maybe perhaps you're running out of capital, you're running out of resources. You're going to find that the mental aspect is very challenging. There are going to be times that you're going to say, well, what have I signed up for? I didn't know that I could do this. Now I don't know if I can do this. And so what I need you to understand that all these emotions and all these feelings are going to start brewing. They're going to start showing up. But here's what I need you to understand. They're all part of the process. And so I need you to expect there to be turbulence. Listen, I'm telling you right now that, you know what, a lot of times when we get on a commercial airline and we and we actually hit some turbulence and it catches us by surprise and we're all scared or whatever, understand this, that for the most part, pilots who are doing this on a daily basis, pilots that this is a part of their job, pilots that this is a part of their calling, they understand that part of being a pilot, part of being in the air, that there's going to be some turbulence, that there's going to be some strong winds, that there's going to be some shakeups. And if you can get that, then it's not going to take you out of the game when it happens. You see, the reason why I'm telling you this is because some of you are excited about the idea of jumping. Some of you are excited about the idea of starting your business, about doing this career path change, about using this gift, this skill, that your talent that you have, and making this your career and answering the call that you have on your life. But what you have failed to calculate is in the process of you deciding to move forward, that there's going to be some turbulence, that some things are going to happen that you don't anticipate. Some things are going to happen. And so your key position, the main thing that you got to be willing to do is when those things do happen, is just to continue to stay airborne, continue to fly, continue to head towards your destination. Keep working the business. Keep pursuing your goals and your dreams. Keep developing your craft, even when it's difficult, even when you're frustrated, even when things don't go your way. Let me tell you, when I first made the decision to leave corporate America, I was super excited. Things were looking like they were promising. And I'm telling you right now, I took all of my savings and I decided to go in on a real estate investment in another country. And it was with a family friend. And I'm telling you right now, I was so excited. I thought that this was a guaranteed, sure plan thing, that everything was going to work out. And unfortunately, guess what? It was a total failure. I lost all of my money, which was the majority of all of my savings. And every single part of me wanted to run back and ask for my job back. Every single part of me wanted to throw in the towel. And then I had to come to the realization that, wait a second, Andy, this is part of the process, that there's going to be some turbulence. And I need you to get that. I need you to understand that there's going to be some turbulence and that you will be tested. Somebody right now, do me a favor, put in the comment section, put expect to be tested. Expect to be tested. I need you to get that. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. It doesn't mean that you're being pessimistic. It doesn't mean that you're not maintaining a positive outlook. But what it means is that you understand that with this calling that you have, or you understand that with this dream that you have, you understand that with this desire to jump that you have, that with it is going to come some challenges. And with it, there are going to be some tests. And once you understand that, once you totally understand that, then when they do come, it's not going to take you out of the game. And so all it is that you, when those things come, you're going to say, you know what? I was listening in. I caught the message by Andy Henriquez when he talked about before you jump, and he told me expect to be tested. I knew this was going to happen. I knew there was going to be some challenges. I should have known that if I was going to start the business, that maybe perhaps that I was going to have some issues with capital. I should have known that the person that I thought I was going to go into business with was going to tell me that they're going to go in a different direction. I should have known that the people I thought that were going to encourage me and the people I thought that were going to have my back, that they were going to be the same people trying to talk me out of my dream. Because Andy said, expect to be tested. It's part of the process. And so do me a favor right now, in the comment section, put expect to be tested. Hashtag expect to be tested. I know I'm giving you these super long hashtags, but I need you to get this sometimes. It's important that literally that you put your whole body, your mind into these things. And that's why I make you do that, because I need this to register for you. You got to expect to be tested. You got to expect that there is something that is going to happen in the process that is designed to try to take you off course, that is designed to get you to second guess this thing that you want to do. And if you can have the mental fortitude, if you can have the grit, if you can have the willingness to keep pushing forward in the midst of the test, if you can have the willingness, the fortitude to keep pushing forward in the midst of the test, oftentimes that is going to be, listen carefully, that is going to be the ultimate deciding factor as to whether or not you are able to maintain and sustain your vision, your goal, your dream is how you deal with and how you manage the test. Because I can tell you this, I'm going to tell you once and I'm going to tell you again, you will be tested. Let me say that again to you one more time. You want to start the business? Fantastic. You're going to be tested. You want to do the career change? Fantastic. I'm rooting for you. You're going to be tested. You want to answer the call on your life? You believe that you have a special gift? You believe that there's something unique that you need to be doing? Fantastic. Answer the call, but you will be tested. There's something that you've been sitting on for years, that you've been delaying, that you haven't moved forward on, and now you're going to make the decision to move forward on it? About time. But understand this, you will be tested. So you got to expect to be tested, expect to be tested, expect to be tested. But here's what I want you to understand, and here's what they don't always tell you, and I want to be the one to tell you. Yes, you are going to be tested, but here's what I need you to get. You were built for the test. I need you to get this. Listen carefully. You were built for the test. There is nothing that you are going to face in this journey, as long as this journey is in alignment with what your purpose is, as long as this journey is in alignment with the things that you are called to do, there is nothing that you are going to face in this journey that you are not going to be able to handle, because of the fact that this is your destiny. This is what you were created for. This is the thing that has your name written all over it. And so you simply need to get this, that you were built for the test, because everything that you need to be able to endure this challenge that is about to face you, this challenge that you're going through right now, this challenge that stands between you and your higher self, this challenge that stands between you and you actually getting the business off the ground, making this career change, using your gift, your skill, and your talent. This test, don't let it scare you. You were built for the test. Listen, when you were designed, you were part of your manufacturing instructions was to equip you with everything that you needed, the mental capacity, the skill set, the cleverness, the creativity, the resourcefulness, everything that you need to be able to get past this test. Understand this, that thing is already in you. You were built for the test. And when you get that, then you're able to show up in an entirely different way. When you get that, then you're able to just continue to push forward. When you get that, you're able to stay airborne. And so I told you this at the very beginning. I believe that all of us are going to be presented with some special opportunities to do something special in our lives, to take our lives to the next level. And some people may refer to it as jumping, as Steve Harvey. Some people may refer to it as an opportunity to lean in, as Sheryl Sandberg would say. Some people would refer to it as answering the call. Some people would call it leaving your comfort zone. Whatever you want to call it, understand this, that you will be presented with an opportunity to jump, to get to that next level, right? But remember what I told you, before you jump, understand this, you're not going to have it all figured out. Just get that, right? Stop trying to have it all figured out. It doesn't work like that. And understand that even though you're facing the fear, fear is not going anywhere. Get in the car on your way to your destiny, put your seatbelt on, look over at fear and say, hey, fear, put your seatbelt on too. You're going for the ride. So understand that fear is coming with you. That is totally fine. And the most important part is for you to just simply get off the ground. Get this dream, get this vision, get this goal, get this desire, get it off the ground. Get the wheels off the ground. And once you get the wheels off the ground, you're going to make the adjustments in the air. It's so much easier to make adjustments once you're in the air. Stop trying to make the adjustments from the ground floor. That's what keeps you grounded. Get off the ground, make the adjustments. In other words, the adjustments are the things that you need to do. the turns that you need to make, the pivots that you need to make, the relationships that you need to build, the skill sets that you need to improve upon. Make those adjustments while you're in the air. It's okay. It's okay. And understand this, that while you're in the air, just like most of the time when you get in the air, you got to expect there to be some turbulence. You got to expect to be tested. But I'm going to always remind you, when it's all said and done, I told you this before and I'll tell you again, you were built for the test. You were built for the test. You were built for the test. And so I am hoping that that gave you some insight. For those of you who are contemplating jumping, for those of you who you're at the cusp right now, you're like, I know I got this thing I want to do. I want to make this thing happen, Andy. I'm sick of sitting on the sidelines. I'm ready, but I'm scared. Hopefully I shared something with you that is going to just really equip you and help you to stop processing things, stop getting stuck in your mind, and start positioning yourself to start moving forward. So do me a quick favor. If you've gotten some value from this message, go ahead and hit the share button. Hit the share button, hit the share button, hit the share button if you've gotten some value from this message. And then not only that, but if you are willing to make the commitment to go after your goals and your dreams, to pursue this thing that you know is inside of you, this gift that you have. If you've been contemplating starting a business, writing a book, making a career change, right? Doing this thing, and you're committing to making this thing happen, I want you right now to put hashtag jump, hashtag jump, hashtag jump, right? And that's something that's been made completely popular by Mr. Steve Harvey, but I think it's a perfect analogy to just remind us. So if you're committing to jumping after your goals, after your dreams, and doing that thing that you know that you've been called to do, do me a favor. After you've hit the share button, go ahead and put hashtag jump, hashtag jump. That's just going to be your way of letting me know that you're committed to the cause. Not to my cause, but that you're committed to your own cause, that you're going to answer your call, that you're going to do that thing that you were called to do, that you're going to start the business, that you're going to make the career change, that you're going to write the book, that you're going to do this thing that you know that you've been wanting to do, that you've been contemplating, that you've been sitting on the sidelines doing. That's right, Brittany. Congratulations, jump. That's right, Joel. Hashtag jump. That's what I'm talking about. Hashtag jump. Yes, Christine, I see you. Hashtag jump. That's right. We got to be willing to jump. You got to jump after your goals and your dreams, and you got to make this thing happen. So hopefully I shared some insight with you tonight that's going to equip you. And remember what I told you, this message was for you before you jump, some things that you need to know. And hopefully you got some insight from some things that I shared with you tonight. And so let me say this. Yes, indeed. I see you, Roz. Hashtag jump. Yes, yes. And so here's what I want you to also realize. That's right, Linda. Hashtag jump. I see you, Darren. Hashtag jump. Hashtag jump. I see you, Darren. Excellent. Fantastic. So here's what I want to share with you before we go ahead and sign off. That's right, Janelle. Hashtag jump. I love it. Hashtag jump. So before we sign off, a couple of things. I just want to remind you because, you know, one of the things that you all know that I'm really passionate about is really helping people who are committed to the cause. In other words, people that know that they have a mission, that there's something that they're working on, whether they're already an entrepreneur, they're a speaker, they're a coach, they're an author, or they have a desire to be a speaker, coach, author, or entrepreneur, and they know that part of bringing their vision to the forefront, part of making their thing happen is being able to articulate their message and being able to articulate their story so that they can connect with people, so that they can influence people, so that they can have more impact and ultimately have more income in what it is that they're doing. If you know that in order for you to be able to grow and scale your business, in order for you to be able to drive forward and really be able to promote your book, in order for you to be able to do the thing that you know that you've been called to do, if you know that part of one of the things that you have to improve on is being able to share your story, to be able to share your message, listen, I want you to seriously consider joining me in February for my next Master Storyteller Academy. My Master Storyteller Academy is a powerful, transformational 3-day training that is designed to help you do 3 things. Listen carefully. Help you to, number 1, discover what your story is, develop your story, and then help you to be able to deliver it with confidence so you can get out there and promote your book, so you can get out there and promote your business, so you can get out there and close more business, so you can get out there and attract more people to what it is that you have to offer. If you know that part of growing and scaling your business is being able to share your message, right, to be able to share your story, then listen, I want you to join me for my next Master Storyteller Academy, which is going to be February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of 2018. But let me tell you, as you all know, my trainings have limited amount of space, and we are already at 70% capacity for the training. And so I don't want you thinking, oh, it's some time off, and so I could just wait and take my time. If you are interested whatsoever, make sure you head on over to masterstorytelleracademy.com and fill out the quick application, and someone on my team will be in touch with you to give you the details so you can make a decision on whether or not you're going to join us. And so once again, that is masterstorytelleracademy.com. The other thing is, I want to give you a free gift. Listen, I did a training in which I shared one of the #1 strategies that you can utilize and that you can leverage to be able to help people to connect with your story, to connect with your message. And so I want you to get the replay to that training that I did. And all you have to do is head on over to showupforyourlifetv.com, showupforyourlifetv.com. And when you get there, just scroll down a tad bit, put in your name, your contact information, excuse me, and you'll get the replay so that you can go ahead and get access to the training. Listen, I want to thank all of you once again for joining me on the Thursday night Show Up For Your Life motivational live stream. Hopefully you got some value from tonight's message. Hopefully you feel further equipped and you can stop spinning your wheels if you've been contemplating taking a jump.